All right, welcome to the episode 44 of the IoT Happy Hour here at Balena headquarters. Well, headquarters all around the world.
Headquarters? When did we get a headquarters?
What do you think?
Yeah, all right. I could get behind that. Balena headquarters?
We are the usual suspects here.
Yeah, you're pointing the... Wait, I'm pointing the wrong way too.
Yeah. And we have some guests today, some special guests, Helium people, as we announced last week. Today, we're going to talk about this new LoRaWAN network that it's like growing, skyrocketing in the LoRaWAN market. And we want to learn more. We want to help community members to have more hotspots using Balena. And this is why we have Mark and Travis. How are you, Mark and Travis, today?
Yeah, good. Hey, guys.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Good morning, guys. I'm saying good morning because I happen to know that they're both based in the U.S. Mark, you're the only one in Europe today.
I'm on the happy hour time zone.
You're on happy hour time zone. I'm actually still working on coffee, but that's okay. But let's
could have grabbed a drink.
Yeah, there you go. But let's give our guests an opportunity real quick to introduce themselves. Travis, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. My name is Travis Teague, and I'm developer growth lead over Helium Systems. And basically, my role over there is to help developers build applications out on our network. So we've done an incredible job, I've got to say, over the past year and a half, getting this network built up with the help of all of the people. You know, we have an incredible community with the Helium community. And
awesome.
Over 18,600 hotspots online right now. And so now we were just really pushing the development of applications to get companies, individuals, startups, building applications and using this network. So it's great to be on today.
Awesome. Very cool. We're going to talk more about that, and I'm excited to learn all about it, of course, as well. But did you just quickly mention there's over 18,000 hotspots already?
That is correct, and we have a lot more that are in shipment right now. So you're going to see that number. Yeah, we're going for skyrocketing this year. So
very cool. Well, we're going to come back around to that more in a few moments. But Mark, you want to say hello and introduce yourself as well? Not you, Mark. I already know. I know
Phillips.
this, Mark.
I'm based out of the Boston area. Oh, yeah, this one. Bottom.
That one down there.
Right here on your screen. Yeah, my name is Mark Phillips. I run business development for Helium, so probably not the typical sort of guest that you have here on the happy hour. Hopefully, I'll try to fake my way through all the technical bits here. So as we were talking about before we went live, I've been at Helium for about 7 years now, which is eon.
Oops.
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Looks like it's getting freeze.
Yeah, I think he's...
Hello?
Oh, there we go. There we go. We lost you for a sec, Mark.
Hey,
yeah.
All right.
You're back.
Sorry about that. I'm back. So in my role as head of BD, or business development rather, I get to work with people building network coverage. I get to work with people building sensing applications, and I get to work with people who are focused specifically on the blockchain piece. So it's a pretty fun job for me.
Yeah, I think the story of Helium, maybe it's interesting to understand all the different projects that you pivot until you got into the LoRaWAN networks, maybe, Mark?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark, I think you've been there, like you said, a long time. Yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my Helium origin story, and sorry for the flakiness, I'll just blame it on my connection here. My origin story is before Helium, I was at a company called Basho Technologies, which was out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. And
Is he running his internet over Helium or
yeah? Is he running? What's?
No.
I'm not sure what I can do to make this better.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's entirely fine. So I was at a company called Basho. It was a distributed database company, open source, Apache 2 licensed database called Riak, which is still out there. And one of the guys who co-founded Helium, his name was Sean Carey, was at Basho with me. And so he left with our current CEO, Amir Halim, and a guy named Sean Fanning. And he brought me over. This is back in 2013, 2014. But the genesis of Helium was actually our CEO, Amir, coming together with a few other people, the LoRa jokes. Here we are. To build if we could push this sort of video over LoRaWAN, we would be doing something pretty remarkable.
Yeah, you really would.
So they built, I think the application was foot traffic monitoring for retail locations. And so they had a friend who ran a startup who asked them for help with this. And they looked at, Zigbee and Cellular and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and pretty much all of the wireless options, and none of them seemed to work. And so that's where the sort of genesis for the company came from. And so over the last 7 years, we've raised about 53 or 54 million in venture funding to date. And the switch, or I guess really the addition of this sort of blockchain powered incentive mechanism really happened right around early 2000.
2000 what?
That's a problem. That the important parts are always.
Yeah, it's always right.
This is not going to get annoying at all. I'm going to let I'll let Travis do most of the speaking. Yeah. Essentially, we looked at using the blockchain in 2017 to really help decentralize and distribute the network, and that has, we thought it would be successful, but it has.
Let's do one thing. Let's move let's move.
Yeah, I think we may have lost him permanently this time. I think he might be a total goner.
Let's move to next topic.
And usually it's me that's having connection issues. So
yeah, that's right.
Hey, then you better go buy a lottery ticket. Today's your lucky day, then.
Shoot. All right,
David, Travis, you know that we are hiring at Balena?
I was aware of that. Thank you, Mark, for the shout out. Let's get our URL on screen, and I'll drop it in comments as well. But I know that we have at least one, maybe two open positions last I checked. The one I have in mind is front-end engineer. There's also always on there what is called design your own role. And design your own role means exactly that. You can literally just tell us what your experience is, what you're passionate about, and tell us how you would fit into the team. And, certainly we'll evaluate and see if there's a fit for you. So, Mark, looks like you actually got the link already in. Thanks for that. And Travis.
If I can jump in here, I believe Helium actually is hiring as well. We've got a few positions open. If that's okay, if I,
Absolutely. That's where I was going with that transition. I think you have some spots too, right?
Should have a link in the private chat.
Okay, I'll grab it right now. And
I appreciate it.
Drop that in for you. I'm also going to put it on screen for you too. Let's do this.
Oh, nice. Appreciate
Yours
it. Yeah, we've got spots open over here. And it's cool that you mentioned the kind of, design your own role. That's kind of how I initially got involved with Helium. They're like, we're not hiring a spot for what you do, but we'd like to have you on board. So, and it's been fantastic working with all the folks at Helium. Some brilliant.
How many people are you at Helium?
Yeah, how large?
It's small. We're
about 40, 35, 40.
Yeah.
Oops.
I hear Mark.
Yes, he's got audio, so we lost his video. But
I killed my video to see if it would help at all. Okay. We're about 35, 40 people at this point.
Awesome.
All right, and I'll grab that link and drop it into chat as well, but you can see it there on screen, jobs.wrkhq.com/helium. Okay.
David, I have tons of questions for the Helium team. Let's jump into what's on your desk, and then let's get into some hands-on and some
absolutely
stuff that we have to show.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do some what's on your desk. We better keep it quick. We say that all the time, and yet we never seem to make it actually quick. But I'll go first this time because. Oh, wait a minute.
Hey,
hold on a minute. Oh, I got jumpy. Yeah. All right, Mark, you want to cue up the video real quick?
Yeah, or I don't know if Travis, would you like to sing the What's on Your Desk song? Do you already know that song? Or?
That's not happening. But
he knows the song, but he's just not singing it.
I'm sorry,
shirt
John,
on today too.
it's not going to happen. So.
All right, no singing. All right, we'll go with a video rendition.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
What's on your desk?
Full-time lunch quality monitor. All right. And I shot JR is already asking what's on Travis's shelves, so we'll get to that.
Exactly.
Let me see if I can switch over to the blurry cam. That's trademarked, by the way.
Okay.
Blurry cam is our favorite. Okay, ignore not the nano. That's not important. What is important is, as a teaser, next week, we are going to cover on IoT Happy Hour how to build Balena OS and support new devices that are not currently in our list of supported boards. So
are you already announcing the next episode on the
11th
minute of this episode?
Spoiler alert for next week. Yes, we are in fact going to build Balena OS for a device that I have never even seen in my life. But pick this one up at random. This is Raspberry Pi-like, but not exactly. This is by a manufacturer by the name of Libre Computer. They do actually, they do great work. Both open source hardware and software support. So, quick little tease for next week, but we're going to add Balena to this.
Now it's focused.
Now it's focused. Cool. Blurry cam is focusing today.
Actually, Arijit is asking what's the cost of this Libre.
So this thing I got on Amazon here locally for $20 US. This is a quad-core SoC, all-winner H3 SoC, 1 gig of RAM, USB just 2.0, and Ethernet. 4K HDMI, though. It does have 4K out. Standard Pi GPIO. And it has on the bottom of it a socket for socketed eMMC. It doesn't come with it. So we'll just build an SD card image to run from. But you can actually purchase and attach eMMC to it.
Well, you already have an eMMC, right?
Well, yeah, I do. It's just not the right kind because it's just a bare chip. So
you're not going to solder that with
No, we're not going to. We're not going to attempt to. Come on, blurry cam. Come on. So anyways, yeah, we've got a new board that I don't know a whole lot about yet, but we're gonna put Balena on it.
So Mithun's mentioned on the chat that looks like the first generation of the Pi as a layout. What do you think?
Yes, that is correct. This board is actually a couple of years old. I want to say it's from 2018-ish, probably. So it is the Raspberry Pi 3 form factor.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. And so this process that you're going to go over it's a general process that can be applied to any other board that you're wanting to onboard with Balena IO.
That is correct.
Very cool.
There are some gotchas along the way. There are some dragons that you might need to slay, but we're going to talk about that and sort of go through what it takes.
Awesome. Welcome to all the new people saying hello on the chat. Let me go next. I'm not going to show any electronics today. I'm going to maybe show something more funny. That is this.
Okay. And I'm going to catch up on comments. What did I miss? Oh, what is the Oktoberfest of things? What?
This is actually when I live in. So I moved to a new apartment, so I still have a lot of boxes, and I'm finding super weird stuff. I created a movement with a friend, with Thomas, actually from IoT Zurich, the meetup from Zurich. I created a movement in Munich during the Oktoberfest that instead of Internet of Things, it was Oktoberfest of Things, and the idea was to hack some hardware and to bring that hardware into the Oktoberfest tent, but it's completely analogical place. And then drink a lot of beer and lose the hardware, probably, as it happened. And then, in the next edition, we made 4 editions, actually. So we never regret about that, about these infamous hackathons. But Sven from Munich, he made this nice beer. How do you call this? I don't know how to call that in English.
Coaster?
Coaster, or
Like, this is like to...
Yeah, it's a coaster.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was fun to remember those hackathons with friends in Munich.
Yeah, someday we'll get back to that.
Actually, SolderWorks out in Colorado, they had a hackathon where they made IoT beer coasters that I guess it measured how much you drank throughout the hackathon. So
yeah, exactly. So actually, this was one of the projects that I built on the first edition, and I brought it. But what's the problem? I used an Arduino with cellular connectivity. That was 2010, 2011 probably. And the first Arduino GSM Shield. And actually there were that amount of people on the tent. There were like thousands of people there that the cellular connectivity, it was, even the mobile phones didn't work.
Wow.
Because too many people connected at the same cell.
In that cell, yeah.
So it didn't work at all. Travis, your turn. What's on your desk, your room, your walls?
What's on your shelves, walls, desks?
You have an oven there for
you can
soldering?
pick your choice.
Okay. Well, one thing real quick, just along the lines of what you were talking about. This is relatively new to me, but it's what this is. It's a Pi Neo 3. And it has USB 3. You have fast Ethernet on it. Plus you have a USB-C, and so it's a pretty slick little kind of I guess Pi type device.
Oh, look!
Yeah, I've got the 2.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So what is that? How is that?
This is the Neo 2.
Okay, cool, man.
In an aluminum housing for cooling.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's got a small OLED and 3 push button hat on it. But yours is actually far superior. Hold yours back up. You've got USB 3 and you've got gigabit Ethernet. I think, on that one.
Gigabit Ethernet, yeah. And then you've got these nice ports. So I'm getting so tired of micro USB. It's nice to see more things, and then you just have your micro SD card, and it's
yours is way faster than mine.
But my question is, so do you have that onboarded with Balena? And so do these Neo 3s? Can I onboard these simply with that?
There is a community developer who is currently building the Neo 3 image.
Cool.
It's on our forums. When we get underway and you're showing off some stuff, I'll go and find it and grab the link for you. Yep.
Okay. So anyway, just since you mentioned that other one and building the image up, I wanted to kind of pull that out. But
it can be done
on my desk. I don't know what you want to see. I've got a bunch of junk. I got to start off though, which it's not quite out yet. But we did an unboxing on Wednesday. This is the new Helium developer kit based around the Rack Whiz block, and it has everything in it. I've got to promo this. Sorry guys.
Absolutely. Shameless plug it.
Oh, there we go, right there, man. There we go, Mark. So this kit comes with exactly what he's holding in his hand, but you get 2 of them. You get 2 baseboards, 2 cores, and each one has your BLE and your LoRa stack on it, plus 1 of every sensor that they have for WizBlock, plus 1 that isn't released yet. So, which we kind of unveiled on the show the other night. But it's a nice little kit and allows you to build out the
screwdriver.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. Retail price $130, which I think is a steal considering you can build 2 devices, 2 LoRaWAN Helium devices with this guy, or you can do protocol bridging, like BLE to LoRaWAN. And so any BLE device, you can kick back over there. So yeah, that's on my desk just because I've been over the moon about that lately.
Yeah.
This I've been playing around with lately in a few different renditions. This is a keyboard Featherwing by
Is it a BlackBerry?
No. It is actually a BlackBerry Bold keyboard, but Arturo 182 designed this. It's a Featherwing, and so on the back you have a feather format, which this is the new SparkFun LoRa board that I've been doing some work on, which I think has one of the best model names I've seen. It's called the Explorable because it has BLE, like LoRa BLE. Yeah. I thought that was cool. But this is a little feather format board, which also, there you go, the USB-C. And you have backlight on your keyboard. This is a touchscreen display. You have a clickable 5-way button, and then you have 4 buttons here. And so been playing around with this on the Helium network. I'm doing MQTT based kind of messaging. So we've been playing around with that, and
I think that's going to be my next cell phone right there.
Shoot. This is, I don't know if you played with the M5 stacks, but basically they come with a case, and you can see here that you stack them up. So there's a GPS module on the stack. There's a LoRa module on the stack. You have all these breakout pins around it. I believe the new ones, this is an old model, but the new ones have touch screens on them. This just has the 3 buttons, but you can do a lot with 3 buttons. And then this has the faces plate on it. So you have a, unfortunately, not backlit keyboard, which is just insanely frustrating sometimes. But we're kind of messing around with doing the same type text messaging over the Helium network, using that stack, the M5 stack.
Cool.
And Travis, yes. I think that you have a balena fin since long time ago.
Tell
us more about your experience.
With
Mark asked if you have a balena fin
yes.
around that office. Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely do. And I believe I can switch over to a cam view of it, maybe. Let's turn that guy off. Let's see. Yeah. So I kind of hacked this, took a lot of this apart last night.
What is this?
But what you can see, this is the balena fin. You've got a touch screen, or just a 5-inch touch screen up here, and then you have. I have this kind of set up so you can just plug it in, just straight into the wall, right? And then you have a DIN rails along the back, and this breaks it down and then feeds in. The way I'm powering this fin is actually through this GPS breakout board on the back, and I'm just patching in a 5-volt from these DIN rail power lines, right? And then if you can see, if I can rotate this on top, you've got.
Oh, don't drop it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. It's kind of heavy.
Don't drop it.
You've got an N-type breakout, and then you have for cellular backhaul, you have one of these. What are they called? Shockwave towelless antennas.
I thought it was
and just
handle to carry it.
A nice. Over here is a little. Well, it's a NEMA case, and so it's meant to be thrown in the field and then kind of just left there. But this is a door switch, and so whenever the door is closed, it kills power to your touch screen and puts it into a different state. So yeah, then you just have a little powered hub here at the bottom. But I have this keyboard here for use with the touch screen, so you can just like Velcro that there. And then you have these keys which go to a barrel block right here, which is how you turn the unit on and off. But yeah,
This is insane.
what are you laughing at?
I shot JR. Is this a LoRa war driving setup? This thing is remote.
Oh, no. But if you would like to talk about war driving, I'd love to talk radios.
Oh man.
I've run the local, like the Greater Houston area Hackster Hardware group for about 6 years now, and because of that, I have to go downtown to run this group, and so a lot of my stuff needs to be mobile. And actually, I have this thing that people started calling the coffin because it's a huge tool chest, and you'll see me walking downtown Houston just dragging this huge.
You could get arrested. You better be careful.
Yeah. But that kind of gets you to where you have a lot of stuff like this, where you have handheld meters. This is an RF Explorer, which is very handy when you're doing radio LoRaWAN, testing in the field. If you're wanting to do signal strength, I don't have some of my radios here with me, but Hack RF, just SDR radio, which used with GNU radio and other programs if you have it hooked up to your notebook. But this has a power pack or a porta pack on it, so you have a little touch screen allowing you to use it just with batteries rather than having to have it hooked up to a computer. And you can do capture and playback or whatnot with it. And then just a little oscilloscope, like a DSO oscilloscope. That you can get ridiculously cheap right now, but they're handy to have. They're nice to have. They actually have the same company that makes the DSO Touch. They also have a Logic Analyzer version of it now. This is something called a Nano with VNA, which is like a vector analyzer that allows you to test antennas, to do other radio measurements, to make sure that you're not installing something wonky when you're doing field work. And I highly recommend, if you're replacing any type of antenna, if you're running any type of line that's connecting to radio equipment, you get something at least like this, which you can get for like $70, which is ridiculously cheap. There's a lot of third-party software that you can interface, using your machine to this guy and be able to validate your antennas and your equipment, instead of you're installing something and it's junk. So so that's some of the stuff that goes in the backpack over here.
Well,
what's on your backpack?
What's on your backpack? What's in your backpack? That'll be our next segment. Well, I don't know. I'm looking at the clock, and as usual, what's on your desk lasted about 10 minutes longer than I expected. But although I said that you might have the most hardware we've ever shown for what's on your desk, but now I am thinking back last. That's the speed dating version right there. But I mean, clearly, as these comments are rolling by, if anyone in the audience has questions about radios, connectivity, or analysis, I think it's clear to say get in touch with Travis. That's for sure. But we better take a look at some of these hotspots because we've only got 30 minutes left.
So tell us more, like technically speaking, what's Helium? Can you hear me?
Yeah. What is Helium?
Yeah, so
yes.
I guess I think what Mark is asking is, let's take it from the top. Let's give us a quick description of what is Helium and how it works, how it operates, what's going on. Let's take a high level of it.
Okay. Sure. Well, Helium is a distributed LoRaWAN network that is based around a blockchain running a Honey Badger variant that allows you effectively, you run a hotspot and it has components on it like a packet forwarder. A lot of you are familiar with those from working with TTN or other LoRaWAN networks. And you have a miner. And what the miner allows you to do, long story short, is by providing and validating LoRaWAN network coverage, you earn a cryptocurrency called HNT. And HNT is given according to the quality of your coverage. And so we've really worked diligently here, where you can't just buy hundreds of these and stack them in your basement and just start cranking this crypto out, right? Because by doing that, you're not effectively covering or providing any type of valuable coverage to the network. And so we have a lot of mechanisms in place that say, okay, look, you need to be 300 meters from another one of your hotspots in order to, to validate for your witnessing. There are different ways to earn HNT. You earn some from data transfer, from routing information across the network by validating radio coverage. And if you go, we just actually revamped our documentation. If you go to docs.helium.com, we've got some great information that goes through all the specifics on how the blockchain works, how it applies to earning HNT. And we have a huge and vibrant community over on Discord. And for the most part, like I say, we've tried to get people to stop biting, so they're pretty nice to new people over there. And I've seen quite a few people here on the chat, that are over on our Discord. So hey folks, it's good to see you over here. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the gist of what Helium is. It's a LoRaWAN network that is taking over not just the U.S. but the world. So I think it's the fastest growing wireless network. Assuredly the fastest growing distributed wireless network that this world's seen. I mean, it's really cool to be involved in this project.
Okay, look, Arijit just put the finger on the right place. So we have do-it-yourself hotspots with Balena for Helium for Europe and US regions. How we can introduce new regions? What do you recommend?
How we can introduce what? I'm sorry.
Regions.
Introduce new regions, LoRa regions on the hotspots. Okay.
Now, what that partially comes down to is a hardware manufacturer being able to ship to a region and getting, like in the US, we have FCC compliance, right? And so you get certification on a radio or on a radio-based, module device in order to, to operate that, to sell that in that region. Now, once a hardware manufacturer says, yeah, we can, we can sell to this region, it's not hard for Helium on our end to turn that region on and allow that on the network. It really comes down more to local regulation. But there are a number of countries now that we're rolling out with. We've now opened up to third-party hotspots. We're no longer producing hardware. Helium isn't. And so there are actually a handful right now of third-party manufacturers that are producing helium-compatible hotspots gateways for the network.
Actually, I'm leading with questions from the chat. So I saw JR is asking that he only could make it work, but how the project progressed. Maybe okay. Let's do it. Let's go one step. So one step before. So before summer, you opened the alpha program to enable do-it-yourself hotspots to onboard on the Helium network. How was that experience? Let us know more about that experience.
It depends who you ask.
That's the answer to everything.
Yeah, but the purpose of the alpha, and this was kind of lost a little bit along the way, but this was never just an across-the-board invitation for people to join alpha. It was something that we wanted, dedicated Helium users or DIYers to become a part of this program and give them one code each, to test through the process and allow Helium on our end to test our side of things. And for that, it worked very well. Through that program, there were a number of bad actors that were discovered and we learned a lot through this, right? When alpha shut down or closed, it's still, all of those are still running. That came through with alpha. If you have an alpha code that you got from me that you haven't used, it will still work. But yeah. And I'm sorry, JR, that you weren't able, I guess, after speaking with us to get that through and working. But I don't know. We didn't have many problems really with the alpha program. If that's what you're talking about, if you're talking about non-alpha or not the cloud mining, then that may be something.
Well, maybe he's also mentioning that, it was not like the one-click installation, but it happened as well with the things stack installation that you need to set up things. So
Gotcha.
I understand to set up the miner, you needed to create all the miner location and all of these. But that's normal, right? Because you have to configure the miner properly. And
if you look, there's an awesome list for Helium. That actually the guy that runs it is here in channel, I believe, Cellular. And so there is a GitHub repo there. Oh, referring to hacks for content. Okay. Well, there's a GitHub repo by Pasta Gringo that has a balena enter there where he has instructions on just cloning over, and it has the one-click, button within your repo there. I can pull this.
I'm going to paste it in the chat.
Mark
I have
placed
it in the chat.
in.
Give me a sec. So actually, and actually this is going to answer as well. So I just paste it on the chat.
Okay.
Well, this is the European version, but actually if you get into the instructions.
Yeah, it's very simple to change that over.
Yeah. You can change the region, actually. Maybe this README, it's not correct at all, but I'm going to check. But if you check this one, this one.
And the last time I ran that through, it pretty much just straight up, it was one-click working for me. So I haven't done that in a while now. So, don't hold me to that.
We can retest it, make sure it's still
but it was very smooth last time I ran through that one-click integration there.
So actually for US versions, I would recommend this one that I PR yesterday to have it on Hub. Well, actually, if someone wants to deploy it on a Pi, so this is going to work, right? The only thing is that it's not going to mine the tokens, but the packet forwarder, it's going to work automatically.
Correct. The packet forwarding should absolutely work. It's just you won't actually earn HMT for any DIY gateways at this point.
So then to clarify that, to earn the currency, you must use one of the supported ones that you were talking about from the third-party vendors. Is that correct? And so let me drop in a link to the store, which is this. And so that right there, I can see has one from Nebra. I see one from Easy Lincoln, and I see Syncrobit, HNT Gateway. So those are the ones right there that will do the mining then?
Correct.
Gotcha.
And Nebra, they believe I believe they have two. They have an indoor and an outdoor model there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, outdoor. Here, I can bring screen share on. If I can figure it out.
Let me share my screen.
There we go. Yep.
And if you're in the U.S. and interested in this stuff, I would highly recommend checking out Parlay Labs. Brian runs it out in California, and that's going to save you a lot of time on shipping for antennas, for LoRaWAN related accessories, as well as the gateways themselves. So,
gotcha.
David, do you think it's okay to explain that the Nebra gateway runs on Balena?
Does it? Well, I didn't even know that. So sure, yeah. If you can explain it, then go right ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, at Balena we help. So at Balena we help fleet owners to manage the fleet of devices, right? Massive amount of devices everywhere. So we help to manage the software running on the devices, right? So what's happening, that it's something that I want to get now with Travis, it's that at Helium, they have the HIPs, right? The Helium improvement proposals, if I'm not wrong.
Correct.
Right? So the miner actually gets better and better with these HIPs. So that means that you need to update the miner of your hotspot. And that means that you need to upgrade the release of your fleet and actually deploy this new release into all your fleet of devices. So Balena makes completely sense here on this scenario. So we are starting to help first some of the brands that are the newest hotspots manufacturers, and looking forward to be on more, because it matches exactly what we are doing at Balena. Let me, so maybe, let's talk about the HIPs maybe, because you are, it's really nice how you're changing the rules of the game, right? With these improvements. What can you tell us? So this is like community based, or how is it? How does it work, Travis?
With the HIPs, yes, those are community driven. There are monthly calls where these HIPs are validated, and then one was just this just the other day. But it's something absolutely get involved in. Come over to the Helium Discord, and there's a separate channel for each of the HIPs or each of the proposals for you to go in and get your voice heard. It's absolutely something that you can propose your own HIP. If that's something that you feel there's a different way or a better way to do something, or maybe just something that hasn't been approached yet. Draw that up, drop a HIP, propose that, and see if you can get some folks behind you. And and the community will definitely be very vocal there, and you'll get some feedback.
So that's awesome.
As far as you had mentioned updating the Docker, we release Docker images, right, for the miners, and there is a rundown that I posted in this chat here, I guess, that talks about using that Docker image, and a lot of that is going to apply over to Balena as well.
Sorry, I got some visitors. All yours, David.
Well, I see we had a couple of questions come in, so let me grab these real quick from the community. iShot JR is asking, seems like the non-DIY units are always on massive back order. So we'll have to, I got to ramp up production over there, I suppose. Nick is asking, what site did you mention that would ship faster? Do you know of any of these that are ready to go, in stock?
No, that's not actually going to ship faster. It's just if once they have it in stock, then it can save you a couple weeks not shipping over from China. But
gotcha.
If you let me go ahead and post this through to you.
Yeah.
And then Parlay Labs is the name.
Oh, who was the name? Say that again. Parlay Labs.
Parlay Labs. I posted a link there for you.
Okay, grabbing it right now. And dropping it in. Next question comes from Charles. And what is the average HNT monthly mining between the indoor and the outdoor versions from Nebra? Is it more important to have outdoor coverage with antennas? I mean, obviously, range would be superior, going outdoor plus antennas. But does that anyway impact your mining?
Now, all of these are going to be pretty much the same as far as mining HNT is concerned. Now, yes, if you have a highly elevated, 5.8 or 9 dBi antenna, on a mast, then yeah, you're going to get better coverage. A good site to go and check out is cloudrf.com, where you can draw up radio propagation models and see it over topo maps, and so you can see pretty much a real world coverage of what your RF is going to look like, and model through that. That's just cloudrf.com.
Cloudrf.com. Gotcha. I'll drop that in.
It's a good site, and it's based on open source software, but they add the all the web interface on top of that. So.
All right,
awesome.
Neat.
At the end, my recommendation for people who is using, first of all, in the community, I have seen a lot of crypto freaks. I don't know if that's okay to tell that, and LoRa enthusiasts. So it's good that each one was expert on each topic, right? And they didn't. So the good thing is that try to learn both topics. So if you're a crypto freak and you want to get into Helium, just learn about LoRa. And yeah, if you are expert on LoRa, you just need to understand the heaps and play with that rules. If you understand those rules, then those are the game rules, right? So my recommendation to all the crypto freaks that I am in some communities here in Spain, etc., is learn about LoRa, learn about how this radio frequency works. And when you know how it works, get into Helium, learn what are the rules of the game, and just with all the radio frequency stuff, play those rules, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I think that as things progress, people who have been, I guess, gaming the network, it's not going to be effective anymore.
Well, on game rules, I didn't want to mean that to gaming the.
No, I understand, but yes, if you learn the rules and you learn how to do proper gateway spacing and deployment, you can absolutely maximize the HNT that you're earning. It's something that a lot of conversations go on our Discord about that, and it's something that can absolutely be optimized. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it seems to me like that's not necessarily, we don't have to get in the weeds of that, of gaming the system or not, but if you're maximizing your coverage, I mean, and if you have proper spacing, proper antennas, you're doing what you are really being incentivized to do, which is expand the reach of the network. That seems to me like that's a good thing. So I'm not entirely sure that that's really gaming so much as being incentive,
that's not gaming at all. No. That's not what I meant by gaming. That's not gaming.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, then I don't know enough about it, and forget it then.
No, and you will be properly and fairly rewarded, through the system, through the blockchain, with HNT by optimizing your setup. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the whole point is
providing coverage through the network.
That coverage, absolutely. So
but today, David, just to let you know, so they have some a heap. I don't remember which number was that they rewarded depending on some hexagonal geography thing. So if you are closer than 300 meters from another hotspot, then you cannot do proof of coverage with that or witnessing with that other hotspot.
Witnessing. Right.
So the thing is that you can bring super good coverage, but if all your hotspots are nearby 300 meters, you don't make a witness anymore. So you don't get you cannot maximize your reward. So you need to understand those rules to play.
Right. Exactly. But you have to understand that these are these hotspots, you're going to cover more than 300 meters with a hotspot. And so this is effectively, it keeps people from just throwing 200 of these in their basement which does no good, which provides no coverage.
Defeats the purpose. Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
All right.
So Aisha gave a very good question on the chat. So what's the cross compatibility between the Helium and non-Helium devices?
Okay. You probably can't use your blender on the Helium network. No, I'm kidding. What do you mean by non-Helium devices?
So let's imagine that you have a Things network node running on, and you want to make it compatible. I don't know, Aisha, if this is the right.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I would like to go to. I have a TTN gateway. How can I, for example, redirect Helium data and TTN data? Can I do it on a hotspot, for example?
Yes. And actually, we have a function within our Helium console that you can pretty much click a button and import your TTN devices over to your Helium account. It's really as simple as that. Yeah. So, if it's a LoRaWAN device, then we support Class A devices, and so as long as it's a Class A LoRaWAN device, then you should have support on the Helium network. And it's one-click import pretty much from TTN if you want to bring your devices over.
And then, is it possible to have one Helium hotspot redirecting as well the Things network or the Things stack traffic to the Things network, or not?
Yes, you're talking about like multiplexing. If I wanted to forward both to TTN and to Helium, that can be done. Yeah, that can be done. And if you read, I believe there was a post in our engineering blog last week talking about upcoming LNS integration with ChirpStack. What's the Helium console? Go to console.helium.com and grab an account. We'll give you 10,000 data credits right off the bat to go crazy with.
Okay, maybe we didn't explain this. So you are rewarded to have to provide coverage with Helium hotspots, but if you want to send data, you need data credits. So if you have LoRa nodes, right?
You pay with data credits, right? Which is ridiculously cheap. We have a calculator up on the site. It's the amount to run if you have one device sitting at 5-minute intervals for a year. It's well, don't get me lying, but a couple dollars. I mean, it's so much cheaper than cellular, and for most other like MBI IoT LoRaWAN implementations, it's very cheap. So you spend $20 getting data credits, and you just don't run out. So I mean.
Do you have something? Can you share it? So you have something prepared to show this console and sending data from a node?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe before that, meanwhile you prepare that, I'm going to show that we have balenaHub. If you don't know what is balenaHub, it's an app store for IoT and edge devices. So on balenaHub, we have the first Helium applications. Actually, we have, let me get here. I don't know where is this window right now.
We can see it. I can see the hub you have up on screen. Yeah. I can see all of the apps that are in there, like Screenly, Birdwatcher, Balena Sound. But I also see 2 new ones that I don't recognize. What are those 2 new ones, Mark?
So the 2 new ones is Helium, the European flavor for the RAC 2245 or with LoRa concentrators compatible with SX1301. Okay, like the 2245. And we have another one made by this community user from Helium and Balena, that it's the Helium European version for SX1302, that it's the RAC 2287, which is the latest RAC LoRa concentrator, which is actually the one that it's on most of the official Helium hotspots. And yeah, well, I'm waiting for some PRs to get accepted, so we will be able to put on Hub as well the US version as well for the SX1302. And and Arijit, if you want to create the India version, feel free to do it. As the alpha codes are not, so as the alpha program is not able anymore, So yeah, the only thing that you can do is to have a LoRa packet forwarder that it's fun enough to play with. So I think it's a cool application to just play with LoRaWAN, even if you cannot get any token.
Absolutely. And another way to look at it is, I mean, when people are playing on TTN, you're still paying for your own hardware, and you're not making money on that. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people kind of came in with the expectation that you're supposed to be paid for. I mean, this is something new that Helium is doing, right? And that's why we've been able to really kind of, in my opinion, revolutionize things here, and have over 18,000 hotspots, in the course of a year. Whereas if you looked at TTN, they just weren't able to get a foothold in the States, like they have been overseas. So I don't know. The same equipment can run. If you have a packet forwarder that runs TTN, then you can easily. I mean, I guess pretty much one click, balena this over to a Helium packet forwarder setup, and and then your device is supported by all of these thousands and thousands of hotspots all over. And so you drastically increase your coverage by jumping over to the Helium network.
Would you like to share your screen and show some of the stuff of Helium, Travis?
Absolutely.
I want to see one of these in action. Then I need to figure out what hardware I need to buy in order to make mine go. The rack, you said 2245?
Oh, 87.
No, 87?
Yeah, the 87 is a much lower powered device here, if you can see that. But yeah, it runs a lot cooler, and it has a lot lower power consumption as well. Well, let me see if I can share my screen here. There we go. And okay.
We might need to add it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe.
Okay. You add it. I add it to the stream.
There it is.
We got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Welcome to Helium Console.
Yeah, and so here's just some getting started tips, links over to our documentation, some videos, which helps to get going. But if we go over to devices, I don't even know what I have running over here.
Find out.
This is what you have.
Yeah. So these guys, are going to be like GPS mappers. These are a company, Digital Matter. They have these devices called Oysters. And
I used to use when they with the GPS with Sigfox like 4 years ago, and it's super amazing. Actually, I found my car when I park in Pamplona because I had one of these on my car. I was completely lost.
So this guy, you can see my screen, and I can. Let me turn this on, I guess. So this is actually running on a whiz block. Plug this guy in. What Mark showed earlier, and what the Helium developer kit is based around. Okay, so I just powered this on and give that a second. And while I'll let this run, and while it's doing that, I'm going to kick over to the camera just for a second, so you can see what the device is that's running here. Maybe.
What's that? So that's the Oyster.
Is my camera coming through now?
Yeah, it's a little blurry on my side.
Well,
but,
we're just going to
it's down
this is the whiz block right here at the bottom. It's got an OLED screen on the front, and then this is just everything else is just breakout stuff I have kind of going. But you can see the GPS antenna over here, and now I'm going to share my screen again and show you what this does on the other end. So
yeah, you stop sharing.
So you should at this point be able to see my debug over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's try to.
And so I'm in the middle of the house. I don't have a GPS lock right here, but you can see this is our join request from a device. And once this, I should be able to get a lock in a second. We'll see a channel payload going up. And at that point, then we can go through to the integrations that we can see that we have linked. This is a new integration, actually, that we just released yesterday with UbiDuts. And cool. So it's very easy. Here you can see the data moving through, and okay. And this is the hotspot that it's actually going through. This is the one it's over here. It's on the top of my house.
You got a fluffy roll cyborg?
Yeah, but it gives you some radio numbers, and the red means it's not passing through an integration yet. There's okay. Here. But here we have a channel report up, and I can hit my integration. So, no, not yet. But let me show you what I mean by integrations. Let's jump over here, and what I can do, and these are what we call pre-built integrations. So Helium Cargo is our mapper. So I can go to cargo, maybe if I can type, and this allows us to see on a map not just the location of our devices. Well, it's public. This used to be an internal tool, but now it's a public tool, and you can see the location in real time of your mapping devices. And we also added recently the community map, and you turn this layer on, and it will show you actually like feet on the ground hex coverage, where people have gone through and used devices like this to map where the coverage is, like where coverage exists. And so these hexes that come through here in just a moment that doesn't mean that's the only place you have coverage. That means that's where coverage has been validated and verified.
Verified, yeah.
And so on this device that I just showed you, on this OLED screen, I can see that I've got a GPS lock and showing my lat long over here. And so I should be able to, I'm not pushing through cargo. Real quick, all we have to do this would be to say, yes, I understand this is public.
Oh, live demo? Wait a minute. Say your prayers.
Well, okay, no. You get the idea, though. And so I can click on one of these guys, and it's going to show me, where it's located. My net's lagging a little bit over here with the video going on, but and this is free to use. Console is completely free to use, and you just pay for your DC or data credits, and it's a zero-sum game as far as is concerned. And so if I'm using, say I'm in the middle of nowhere, I have what we call a lone wolf hotspot, then all the data credits that I'm paying in order to run something, I make back, just because it's going through my hotspot. So
we have
I'll tell you what.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. It's easier if you just go to, there we go. If you go on your own machine, go to cargo.helium.com. This is, my internet's kind of hating me right now. So, what other questions?
Yeah, we have this question.
Okay. If you want to do a cellular backhaul, that's something that I've done with like the Novas, those little Nova units that you can buy. Now, the thing is, you can't use those on, I guess, some of the third-party official hotspots. You can't just plug any USB device you want in those, right? But if you're doing a DIY packet forwarder, you have the flexibility to do a cellular backhaul. And actually, on balena.io, they have a great blog talking about using, I believe it's the Nova, the Nova cellular device, USB device for. I think the blog was talking about optimizing your data transfer over the cellular network, so you're not just burnt. I woke up one morning to a $500 Nova bill. Oops. Yeah. So be careful.
Be careful.
Just make sure you're not accidentally updating a system over cellular. With some script you have running. Yeah. But Novas they work well, and they have UFL ports on them. And so if you want to get I'm a big fan of Tagless. as far as an antenna manufacturer.
Unboxing,
They have these guys, which you may see on a lot of police cars. These they screw down. You've got an O-ring here, and so you can screw onto the back of your trunk. And it's a wide range antenna, like a large range antenna as far as the bands on it. So you can do LoRa where there's no WAN. Yes, LoRaWAN is actually a messaging protocol that sits on top of LoRa. And so you can absolutely run LoRa. You can run point to point. But a lot of what makes up LoRaWAN is going to be, your messaging, your encryption, a lot of the niceties and the routing, associated with that. So, but yes, you can absolutely do that. And there's some cool projects. If you look at what Disaster Radio is a neat little project. One called what is it? Meshtastic, I want to say, is another cool little project. Which actually will interface with your mobile phone. You can also do a text device, but there's you can run it on devices like these guys. This is a Liligo, and this actually uses this is a newer version. This is running the SX 1262, and so I've been working on getting this guy going. But this just has a little UFL. You have this. You have your GPS. You have your LoRa radio. You have a little OLED screen, and then this connects to your cell phone and allows you to do messaging and group messaging with, if you're out skiing or hiking or doing whatever, with a group of people. So, yeah, you can absolutely do that without running a full LoRaWAN stack.
I think we are 5 minutes over the.
Oh, we're just way past top of the hours. Okay.
I have the feeling that we were a little bit messy with all the content, but we got too much excitement from the chat, from Travis, from me, we lost Mark Phillips and nobody cared. And he didn't return.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah. But I think this episode was a blast. I think this is what's going on today on Helium. It's super crazy. We're growing.
Yeah, this might be, I don't know. I think this might be the highest quantity of devices actually shown. Travis, you may have set the record for not necessarily just during the What's on Your Desk segment, but throughout the course of the show, you showed about 100 or 200 discrete devices. So you may have the new world record.
Well, we didn't even get into the Odia and the other stuff I was showing kind of pre-call with you guys. So,
that's gonna be
everything I planned the show we didn't get into.
Well, that's all right. I mean, obviously, we'll be happy to do a follow-up show.
One last thing, because this is cool for use with balena.io. I just got to say, this is just a little Pi, like 3D printed enclosure with the touchscreen, and you can use almost any of the projects in balenaHub, with this guy, and it just sits on. Oh, yeah, I mean, you can take it with you. This just backhauls off of my cell phone, so I can take this with me to demos and have like Grafana running on it, or whatever. Have a touch screen and just put it on a table. People can check it out. It's going through my cell phone, and it's just one click. Using balena.io. And with a new hub, so that's how
it's a mobile Balena Dash. It's a Balena Dash hotspot. How do we get in touch on Discord? All right.
My name's TT on Discord. TTATUE.
Do you have Mark? You and I'll do wrap up for the episode, and in the meantime, Travis, will you grab the invite link for your Discord, and we'll drop it into chat there for them.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Would you like to wrap up, David?
Yeah, I sure will. So we saw about 1,000 devices all across the Helium spectrum. Thank you, Travis, for showing those off. Saw the console and talked about the third-party miners as well. So you can check out the Helium store. That link was up above in chat. You can go grab that. Next week, we are going to do an episode devoted to building Balena OS for random device types. So I've got on my desk ready to go a board that I've never used in my life, and we're going to try to Balenify it. It should go according to plans, but I'll make sure that I say my prayers to the demo gods just in case. And don't forget, not just us, but also Helium are hiring. So I'm going to grab these two links real quick and toss them into chat one more time. For us at Balena, front-end engineer is posted. I did see that second one I had in mind was lead security engineer. And let me drop that in right there.
Or you can design your own role.
Or you can always design your own role. Tell us about your experience. Tell us what you're passionate about. And we'll see if there's an opportunity or a fit for you on the team. Now, Travis can speak more to his postings, but here is the link for theirs at Helium as well. And then, or design your own roll or your type of bread, maybe a biscuit of some type. So, all right, here is the Discord link for Travis as well. And that should about do it. Travis, do you want to... is there anything you do want to mention on the postings there of yours, or folks can just sort of browse them, check them out?
Yeah, if you want to go, just hit that link, which should be available in the chat, and if something kind of strikes your fancy, throw in your CV. But I want to thank everyone who tuned in, and thank you guys very much for having me on the show. I've had a great time. Really enjoyed it.
Super cool. Well, all right, Mark, you want to... Yeah, thank you very much, Travis. Appreciate it. Mark, you want to hit the button and close us out for the week?
One quick plug.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
We do Helium Hacks Happy Hour every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central. So I got to run that. It is just a happy hour, kind of very casual developer show on Helium. So you got to get the plugs in,
Absolutely. Get all your shameless plugs in right now. Go for it. I'm guilty of doing it, so no problem. Awesome. Helium Hacks. Say the time again.
3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central. Okay. On Wednesday.
All right. There you go, folks. All right, Mark, you want to hit the button, close us out,
sure.
And we will see everyone next week.
Yeah, see you next week with the amazing next episode.
Try to get this thing running.
Looking forward to see your Balena projects. If you have an IoT Edge application, don't forget to post it on balenaHub. And see you next week or see you in forums. Have a good weekend.
Right. Bye, everybody.
Adios.